Hey there, sun seekers and thrill seekers. Welcome to the channel where we swap out desk duty for duty-free fun. You know me, I'm all about that late-night life. But even I gotta admit, California's got something special going on. And it ain't just the avocado toast. We're talking about the Golden State, baby. Land of Hollywood stars, redwood forests, and enough coastline to make a beach bum blush. Whether you're a seasoned traveler or a first-time flyer, this here's your ultimate guide to the best California has to offer. So buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to embark on a whirlwind tour of California's finest. We'll be hitting the theme parks, hiking majestic mountains, cruising down iconic highways, basically living the dream. And trust me, you don't want to miss a single stop on this epic adventure. Get ready to update those bucket lists, folks, because by the time we're done, you'll be booking a one-way ticket to the Golden State. And hey, if you see a guy who looks suspiciously like me sipping a margarita on the beach, come say hi. Just kidding. Unless, let's get this show on the road. All right, let's kick things off with a bang. Or should I say, a bippity-boppity-boo. That's right, we're starting our California adventure at the one and only Disneyland. This ain't just a theme park, folks. It's a magical kingdom where dreams come true, churros flow like water, and even grown men turn into giddy schoolchildren. And believe me, I've seen it happen, usually after they've ridden Space Mountain one too many times. Speaking of Space Mountain, no trip to Disneyland is complete without a spin on this iconic roller coaster. It's dark, it's fast, and it'll leave you feeling like you've just blasted off into another dimension. Just try not to scream too loud, you don't want to scare Mickey. But hold on to your Mickey Mouse ears, because Adventureland is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, the list goes on and on like a Disney movie marathon. And hey, if you're lucky you might even bump into a princess or two. Just don't ask for their phone number, security gets a little weird about that. Now, if adrenaline-pumping rides aren't your thing, don't worry. Disneyland's got something for everyone. Head on over to Fantasyland where you can waltz with Snow White, soar with Peter Pan, and maybe even steal a kiss from a sleeping princess. Just kidding, don't do that. And for a truly unforgettable experience, make sure you catch the fireworks show over Sleeping Beauty's castle. It's a dazzling spectacle of lights, music, and pyrotechnics that'll leave you feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, kind of like those Mickey Mouse pretzels, am I right? But listen, I gotta warn you, Disneyland can be a dangerous place. Not because of the rides, but because of the souvenir shops. You walk in for a Mickey Mouse keychain and walk out with a Goofy hat, a Simba plush toy, and a mortgage payment worth of Disney merch. Don't say I didn't warn you. So there you have it, folks. Disneyland, a place where dreams come true, wallets go empty, and memories last a lifetime. Now, who's ready for some churros? I know I am. All right, folks. After all those churros and Mickey Mouse ears, it's time to trade in the theme park and fresh air and breathtaking scenery. That's right, we're heading to Yosemite National Park. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more of a poolside with a cocktail kind of guy, but even I gotta admit Yosemite is something else. We're talking towering granite cliffs, giant sequoia trees, and waterfalls that'll make you want to burn. Or maybe that's just the altitude. And speaking of towering granite cliffs, if you're feeling adventurous, you gotta check out Half Dome. This iconic rock formation is not for the faint of heart, but conquering it is a badge of honor among hikers. Plus, the view from the top, let's just say it's more Instagram-worthy than a Kardashian vacation. Just make sure you pack plenty of water, sunscreen, and maybe a Sherpa or two. And whatever you do, don't feed the bears, unless you want your vacation photos to end up on a When Nature. Now, if scaling Half Dome isn't exactly your idea of a relaxing vacation, don't worry. Yosemite's got plenty of other ways to soak up the scenery. Take a leisurely stroll through Yosemite Valley, marvel at the cascading waters of Yosemite Falls, or lace up your hiking boots and explore miles of scenic trails. And for those who prefer their adventures on four wheels, take a scenic drive along Tioga Pass, which winds its way through the park's high country, offering jaw-dropping views at every turn. Just keep an eye out for those deer crossing signs unless you want to end up explaining a dented bumper to your insurance company. And hey, if you're lucky, You might even spot some of the park's resident wildlife like black bears, mule deer, and maybe even a bobcat or two. Just remember, admire them from a distance and keep your snacks safely stored away. Trust me, you don't want to be the star of Man vs. Squirrel on YouTube. So, there you have it, folks. Yosemite National Park, a place where you can reconnect with nature, challenge your limits, and create memories that'll last a lifetime. Now, who's ready for s'mores? I know I am. Alright folks, we're heading to San Francisco, the city by the bay, where the fog rolls in faster than tourists trying to get a selfie with the Golden Gate Bridge. This bridge, let me tell you, it's more than just a bridge, it's an icon. It's like the Eiffel Tower of the West Coast, but instead of croissants and surrendering, we got sourdough bread and tech bros who think they're Tony Stark. But hey, the bridge itself is pretty darn impressive. I mean, just look at that thing. Spanning over 1.5 miles, the Golden Gate Bridge connects San Francisco to Marin County. And let me tell you, that's a lot of Ubers going back and forth every day. You got your tourists, your commuters, your seagulls trying to hitch a ride, it's a whole thing. But seriously, if you're in California, you gotta see this bridge at least once. Walk it, bike it, drive it, heck, swim it if you're feeling adventurous. Just make sure you pack a jacket, because San Francisco weather is about as predictable as my Aunt Linda after a few margaritas. Now, while the Golden Gate Bridge is the star of the show, San Francisco's got a lot more to offer than just a pretty bridge. I'm talking about Fisherman's Wharf, where you can get fresh seafood, sourdough bread bowls, and maybe even see a sea lion or two. And speaking of sourdough, don't even get me started on the bread in this city. It's like they put crack in it, it's so good. I once ate a whole loaf of sourdough in one sitting. Don't judge me, you would have done the same. Then there's Lombard Street, the most crooked street in the world. It's basically a bunch of switchbacks going up a hill, but hey, it makes for a good photo op. Plus, it's fun to watch tourists try to navigate their rental cars up and down that thing. And of course, no trip to San Francisco is complete without a ride on a cable car. Just try not to get run over by one. Those things are sneaky. Trust me, I've almost been a cable car casualty more times than I'd like to admit. Alright, let's be honest folks, when you think of California, you think of Hollywood. And what's Hollywood without a little bit of glitz, glamour, and maybe a run-in with a Kardashian? Probably pretty peaceful actually, but we're not here for peace and quiet, we're here to party. Hollywood nightlife is legendary, from swanky rooftop bars to dive bars where you might just spot the next Quentin Tarantino. There's something for everyone. Just be prepared to wait in line because everyone and their agent is trying to get into these places. You got your trendy clubs on Sunset Strip, your speakeasies hidden in plain sight, and everything in between. It's like a real-life game of Where's Waldo, but instead of Waldo, you're looking for a decent cocktail and a celebrity sighting. And hey, if you're feeling lucky, you might even catch a glimpse of yours truly. I mean, I'm usually at home in my pajamas by 9 p.m., but you never know, right? Now before you think Hollywood is all about nightclubs and fancy cocktails, let me tell you, there's more to this town than meets the eye. You got the Walk of Fame, where you can pretend to accept an Oscar while dodging tourists. And speaking of Oscars, you can't forget about the Dolby Theater, home of the Academy Awards. It's like the Super Bowl of movies, but instead of football players, you got actors pretending to be happy for whoever wins. Then there's the Griffith Observatory, where you can get a stunning view of the city and pretend you're in a romantic comedy montage. It's also a great place to learn about space, which is pretty cool unless you're one of those flat earthers. In that case, just enjoy the view. And hey, if you're feeling really adventurous, you can always try to hike up to the Hollywood sign. Just watch out for rattlesnakes and influencers trying to get the perfect Instagram shot. Alright folks, get ready for a road trip, because we're heading to Big Sur, one of the most scenic drives in the world. Imagine this, you, the open road, the Pacific Ocean crashing against rugged cliffs, and maybe a convertible if you're feeling fancy. Highway 1, also known as the Pacific Coast Highway, winds its way along the California coastline, and Big Sur is the crown jewel of this epic drive. It's like driving through a postcard, but with better snacks and less sand in your shoes. From towering redwoods to secluded beaches, Big Sur has something for everyone. You can go hiking, camping, whale watching, or just pull over at one of the many scenic overlooks and soak in the view. Just be sure to fill up your gas tank before you go, because gas stations are few and far between in these parts, and trust me, You don't want to be stranded on the side of the road with a dead phone and a grumbling stomach. I speak from experience, folks. Now, while the drive along Highway 1 is breathtaking, Big Sur is also home to some pretty incredible natural wonders. We're talking about McWay Falls, a waterfall that cascades directly onto the beach. It's like something out of a fairy tale, but with less singing woodland creatures and more tourists taking selfies. And speaking of beaches, Pfeiffer Big Sur State Park is a must-see. With its dramatic cliffs, hidden coves, and pristine beaches, it's the perfect place to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. Then there's Point Lobo State Natural Reserve, known for its dramatic coastline, tide pools teeming with marine life, and hiking trails with stunning ocean views. It's basically Instagram heaven, but with better air quality. And for all you adventure seekers out there, Big Sur is a great place to go hiking, camping, and kayaking. Just watch out for poison oak, mountain lions, and overly friendly squirrels. Alright, so you've seen the Hollywood sign, what's next? Well, it's time to hit the beach, baby. I'm talking about Santa Monica Beach, the granddaddy of all Los Angeles beaches. It's iconic, it's crowded, and more volleyball nets than a high school gym. You can surf, you can swim, embrace the tourist chaos. Speaking of tourist traps, have you really been to Santa Monica Beach if you haven't visited the Santa Monica Pier? This ain't just any pier, folks. This is the pier that launched 1,000 Instagram posts. It's got a roller coaster, a Ferris wheel, and enough fried food to clog the arteries of a small country. Now, I'm not saying the food is bad. In fact, the churros are pretty darn delicious. But let's just say that a balanced diet at the Santa Monica Pier involves eating a funnel cake with a side of cotton candy. It's a carnival atmosphere up there, and you can't help but get swept up in the excitement. Just be prepared to shell out some serious cash. Those rides and games aren't cheap, and the seagulls will gladly relieve you of any loose fries you have lying around. But hey, you only live once, right? And besides, the view from the Ferris wheel is worth every penny. So grab your sunscreen, your wallet, and your inner child, and get ready for a day of fun in the sun at Santa Monica Beach. Just don't blame me when you wake up the next day with a sunburn and a craving for funnel cake. Alright folks, let's talk basketball. And I'm not talking about your nephew's Pee Wee League game where everyone gets a participation trophy. I'm talking about the real deal, a Los Angeles Lakers game at the Staples Center. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, I'm not really a basketball fan. And to that I say, who cares? This is about more than just basketball. This is about experiencing the energy of a city that bleeds purple and gold, about witnessing athleticism that will make your jaw drop, and about maybe, just maybe, catching a glimpse of Jack Nicholson sitting courtside. The atmosphere at a Lakers game is electric. It's like stepping into a giant beehive buzzing with excitement. You've got celebrities in the stands, cheerleaders doing their thing, and the roar of the crowd that'll make your heart skip a beat. Even if you don't know a basketball from a beach ball, you can't help but get caught up in the energy. Plus, let's be real, the food at the Staples Center is way better than your average stadium fare. I'm talking gourmet hot dogs, loaded nachos, and craft beers that'll make you forget all about that overpriced Bud Light you had at the Dodgers game. Now, I'm not gonna lie, tickets to a Lakers game can be a little pricey. But hey, you're not just paying for a basketball game, you're paying for an experience. You're paying for the chance to witness history in the making. You're paying for bragging rights when you tell your friends back home that you saw LeBron James dunk in person. And let's be honest, is there anything more LA than dropping a few $100 on a night out? You can always eat ramen noodles for the rest of the month to make up for it. But seriously folks, a Lakers game is an experience you won't soon forget. It's a chance to witness athleticism at its finest, to be a part of something bigger than yourself, and to maybe, just maybe, see Jack Nicholson crack a smile. So put on your best purple and gold gear, grab your lucky jersey, and get ready to cheer your heart out for the Lakers. And if you happen to see me there, come say hi, unless Jack Nicholson is around. Then, you know, maybe just give me a discreet nod. Alright folks, enough with the fancy restaurants and celebrity chefs, let's talk about real food. Food that sticks to your ribs, food that satisfies your soul, food that makes you say, dang, that's a good burger. I'm talking, of course, about the California institution that is In-N-Out Burger. Now I know what you're thinking, Jimmy, it's just a burger joint. And to that I say, you clearly haven't tasted the Double Double, my friend. In-N-Out isn't just a restaurant, it's an experience. It's a pilgrimage every Californian makes at least once a week, if not more. It's a place where the fries are always fresh, the shakes are always thick, and the burgers, well, the burgers are just something special. And the best part, it won't break the bank. You can feed your entire family for the price of one overpriced kale salad at that fancy restaurant you went to last night. Plus, where else can you order your burger animal style and not get looked at like you just asked for a side of grasshoppers? So ditch the diet, forget about your calorie counting app, and embrace the deliciousness that is In-N-Out Burger. Trust me, your taste buds will thank you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jimmy, I've heard whispers of a secret menu. Is it real? Is it just a myth? Let me tell you folks, the secret menu is real. Order the animal-style fries. Trust me on this one. And if you're feeling adventurous, try the 4x4. It's not just about the food, it's about the experience. Head to In-N-Out Burger and experience a true taste of California. Alright folks, buckle up because we're heading to a place where the magic of movies comes to life. Universal Studios Hollywood. This isn't your average theme park, people. We're talking about stepping onto real movie sets, coming face to face with iconic characters, and screaming your lungs out on heart-stopping rides. First things first, you gotta check out the world-famous studio tour. You hop on this tram and get whisked away through actual movie sets. I'm talking about Jaws, Jurassic Park, even Desperate Housewives. They say you can spot the shark from Jaws lurking in the water. I wouldn't know. I refuse to go near that thing. And speaking of thrills, you can't miss the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Ever wanted to sip on a butterbeer or take a spin on the Hogwarts Express? Well, here's your chance. Just try not to get lost in Diagon Alley. Those cobblestone streets can be tricky. Now, if you're an adrenaline junkie like me, you gotta head straight for the action-packed rides. The Mummy Returns will send you hurtling through darkness at speeds that'll make your head spin. Just make sure your breakfast is settled before hopping on that one. And for all you dinosaur fans out there, Jurassic World is a must. You'll come face to face with those prehistoric beasts and let's just say, they look pretty darn real. I swear I saw one blink. Or maybe it was just my imagination running wild. Look, I could go on and on about Universal Studios, but you gotta experience it for yourself. From the heart-pounding rides to the mind-blowing special effects, it's a day you won't forget. Just remember, what happens at Universal Studios stays at Universal Studios. Unless you post it on Instagram, then everyone knows. Alright, road trip time! We're talking about the Pacific Coast Highway, also known as Highway 1, the most scenic drive in America. And trust me, I've driven through a lot of cornfields in my day. This ain't that. Picture this, the sun on your face, the wind in your hair, and breathtaking views of the Pacific Ocean stretching out before you. It's enough to make you forget all about your troubles, or at least until you hit traffic. This ain't your average Sunday drive, folks. We're talking about winding roads, dramatic cliffs, and hidden beaches just waiting to be discovered. It's the kind of drive that makes you want to blast some classic rock and sing along at the top of your lungs. Now you gotta make some pit stops along the way, and luckily the Pacific Coast Highway is full of them. First up, big sir, this place is basically Mother Nature showing off, with towering redwoods, rugged coastline, and more shades of blue in the ocean than you can shake a stick at. And speaking of iconic landmarks, you gotta snap a photo at the Bixby Bridge. This engineering marvel is like something out of a postcard, and it's the perfect spot to channel your inner influencer. Listen, I could talk about the Pacific Coast Highway all day, but you gotta get out there and experience it for yourself. Just promise me you'll roll the windows down and take a deep breath of that fresh ocean air. You can thank me later. Well folks, there you have it. The top things to do in California according to yours truly. From the happiest place on earth to the most scenic drive in America, California's got it all. So, what are you waiting for? Pack your bags, grab your sunscreen, and get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. Don't forget to leave a comment below about your favorite thing to do in California. See you next time.